And great afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me on this free design training. My name is Tory Dube. I wore my pink shirt so you could recognize me. I will be your host. So unfortunately, we don't have my super handsome tech support guy. Now that I'm thinking of this, sounds so creepy, but I put his picture in his normal spot. But here, this is Patrick. He can't answer questions for us because he's not here. This is a picture of our first date when he spit a big blob of gum in my hair. Anyway, point being, ask your questions in real time in the chat box, and then at the end, I promise I will get to them. And no question is stupid, no question is silly. Please, please, please ask. I promise I'll get to them at the end. So at this time, I ask you to get a notebook. I will be adding a lot more verbal information than that's actually on the slides, and I don't want you to miss anything. And let's just dive in. So I'm gonna share my screen here. And we're gonna jump over to this. So really fun. Yesterday, last night at during my other webinar, my whole computer just crashed and logged me out and then closed all of my tabs and all of my materials. So that was really fun. So on the off chance that happens, I will be back within 2 minutes. I promise, just stay put. But I have a good feeling that we are A-okay this time around. So again, welcome to Create Your Brand Identity Without a Designer Experience or Expensive Editing Software. Just a quick reminder before we start, because I know that this computer tech design stuff is a really frustrating sore subject for so many people. This is the fun stuff. That is my mantra for everything. If you've ever visited my website, you know that it says it right across the front. So in my personal life, in holistic nutrition, in holistic business, that is always my mantra. This is the fun stuff. And today I had this little sticky note that I stuck on the side of my computer that said, this is the fun stuff, because I just wanted to tell myself to chill the flip out, take a deep breath. And then I was thinking, okay, well, if I need this pep talk, maybe they also need it too. So I made a slide, I included it. And I really want you to adopt this mindset. You are brilliant. You're the only you that will ever grace the face of this planet. You need to trust in your message. Trust that the world needs you, your service, your product. Stop doubting that they don't. That's just complete cockamamie, whatever that word means. And then in terms of design, it is so silly that aesthetics can and very often be an obstacle for spreading this important message, right? So let's overcome it together. Do not fight for your limitations. Don't look at these slides and these tips, these techniques and go, okay, well, I'm not computer savvy, I can't do it. Just take a deep breath, be open, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Hang with me and know just by showing up today, you've already taken a really humongous, brilliant, amazing step. And this is the fun stuff. Okay. So in our 45-ish minutes together today, you are going to learn these foundational processes that I use for all of design. So for every class, every flyer, even this webinar, I used these foundational steps. It is only natural to want to skip this work. I totally get it. It actually takes integrity and concentration. You got to sit down and do it and dig deep. I get it. But I promise you it's going to make the design aspect of everything so much easier just from the design point of view, but also it's just going to feel so much more purposeful. It's going to give you the little fire under your tushy to go, okay, but this is important because I remember I did all of that foundational work and I need my vision to come to life so I can share it with other people. So this is me, seductive photo that I chose here. I'm a healthy living expert and a holistic business consultant. You will notice that nowhere it says design guru. I am not claiming to have all of the answers. I'm claiming to have the answers that I've come to learn myself. I started with zero design experience. I am not kidding you. After I graduated nutrition school, I immediately, obviously, I wanted to start making money off of it, start getting my clients. I was super eager to use my information, but I had a big problem. I did not have a website, so I couldn't share this information with people. I couldn't entice them to work with me, but also I hadn't had a client yet. So I didn't have any money to pay a designer $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to create a website for me. I was actually dating a designer at the time, and it was infuriating to me that he would not just make a website for me. And he kept saying, no, this is important. You need to learn. And now, long gone, not my boyfriend anymore, but immense gratitude for giving me this gift and for allowing me to give my business this gift. So, not only is the design aspect a really amazing financial boost to your practice, just out of curiosity, I decided to calculate what I potentially could have spent on the 3 iterations of my website, endless flyers, website page changes, like changing the text, changing my services, business cards, web graphics, all the social media stuff that I've designed. And I calculated at the minimum of $12,000 over the past 2 years. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have like a pile of $12,000 just hanging around to use for a designer. So that has been really, really invaluable. Side note. So with my Squarespace site, the first one that I made, I just calmed down and came to terms with the fact that it just needed to do 3 things. It needed to, 1, look pretty. It needed to be attractive so people wanted to stick around, right? 2, it needed to convey a clear message of who I am and what I was offering. And then 3, it needed to provide visitors a way to contact me, to work with me, right? So very simple, and that's where I started. And then over the past couple of years, I have tinkered for hundreds and hundreds of hours. I have Googled, I have YouTubed, I've customer serviced my way to getting to what I know now. But I don't want you to have to do that. I know that that does not sound enticing at all. Anytime I try to inspire somebody to learn design, they're like, does not sound fun. So that was really the motivation behind creating this. I saw a gap and I thought, okay, wait, I can just boil down all my information and give it to you. And I mean, really design is not my forte. It's not even my passion, but getting you out there and empowering you to share your positive message, that is my passion. So I'm super excited to share all of this information with you. So fast forward to a little bit farther to this past January, I was actually hired a job. I was hired as marketing director. I got a job based on this design experience. And I was hired for a chain of a multi-million-dollar juice cafe, which couldn't be more aligned with where I'm at in the nutrition space and just my mission to spread nourishment, mind, body, spirit to the world. So part of my job was to design in-store signage and materials for social media. So on top of saving this $12,000 that I modestly calculated, I've also made over $30,000 with design alone just in the past year and a half, which is something I honestly wasn't even on my radar until I calculated it with this webinar. That just absolutely freaking blows my mind. I am nobody special. I have no special design training. It is only based off of all that I'm going to teach you. And the best part is that I continue to use all of these free applications. I have never bit the bullet and purchased Photoshop or Illustrator or even taken a design class. And that's, I mean, just a testament to what we're going to learn today. It's available to you if you just chill out for a second and believe that you can do it. Okay, so we are going to dive right in now to the training. So you'll notice that I've named it Module 1, and that is because I hate it when I take a webinar or just spend my time on a webinar and there's no real information on it. I think that is complete crap. I totally believe in just sharing as much as you can. So this Module 1 is actually the first part to a 4-part class that I've created. So I promise you that this stuff is really important. Take great notes, and at the end, I'm going to send you the link to this module. I just didn't want to send it out before because some of this stuff really takes some concentration, like I said before, and I want you to sit with it and really get in touch with the activity instead of just like playing with it on our call. So let's dive in. There's me again. Okay, we already know what we're going to learn. We chatted about that. So what is holistic business? So my background is holistic nutrition, and that serves for the basis of all of my holistic business consulting. Holistic solely means to take into account the whole of something. So for your business, you're not only taking into account the whole of your business, but the whole of your life. Let me pitch this to you. So in your personal life, if you're foggy-headed, you're anxious, you're insecure, you're just stretched to the max, you're exhausted, you're uninspired, so too will your business. Understand? So let's click into this. You can complete this on your own time after, but page 1 is just instructions, blah, 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 blah. But let's take a look at this. I'm just going to resize it so you can see the full thing on my screen. This is you. This is your ecosystem. So we remember the definition of ecosystem from high school, a system of living, breathing, moving parts that all contribute to the vitality of the big picture, right? So in terms of your life, all of these moving parts on the outside, the physical health, relationships, career, passions, they contribute to the vitality of you, your health and your happiness. And really, what is more important? If you are happy, but you're not healthy, doesn't feel so good. If you are healthy, but you're miserable, doesn't feel so good. We want both of them. So let's just chat through this super quickly. Again, you'll have time to fill this out on your own after, but let's use our physical health as an example of why this is so important. So say with your physical health, you've kind of been eating some crummy food, processed sugar, maybe too much caffeine, maybe drinking a little too much alcohol, and you feel some unease in your body that feels like anxiety. Maybe your digestion's off and your skin started breaking out. Maybe you're dehydrated and you're getting headaches. Maybe you're insecure about what your body looks like. Whatever it may be, let's go through the ecosystem and see, do you think that's going to affect your relationships? Absolutely. If you're anxious, insecure, not feeling great about your body, are you going to want to go on dates? Probably not. Do you think you'll be your bravest, boldest, most loving self when you're in this pain with your best friends, your family? Probably not. Let's go to career. Do you think if you're anxious and you got a foggy head and you're not really comfortable staying at the front of the room, do you think you're going to be your most creative, inspired leader? Probably not. So you get the picture. And I hope you understand how essential this is. Again, you are your business. So especially if you're a personal brand, if you cannot take care of you, you can't take care of your business, baby. This is an essential first step to aligning yourself with your purpose, the purpose of your life, not even the purpose of your business, aligning with that for whatever you're creating. Alrighty. So let's hop on over to essential questions. I just want to tell you a quick story about the beginning of this year when I wanted to rebrand my website. I previously went under the name of Hot Chickpea, and that just no longer felt like me. I wanted to use my name, but I didn't really have a vision for it. So the designer that I worked with did not ask me these essential questions. I did not ask myself these essential questions. And basically I just went into this new relationship with the designer blinded, thinking, okay, well, I have no ideas. So designers must have great ideas. I'll just see what he presents to me and I'll pick from one of those. That is a very expensive mistake. And long story short, 3 designers later, so I wasn't happy. I just kept going through designers. I spent $1,800 and still didn't have a logo. I was so dejected. I was so frustrated that my only option was really to be like, okay, take a deep breath. What's the purpose here? Reconnect back to why do I even do this in the first place? And that is answering these questions. Fast forward, answer the questions, found another wonderful designer who could bring to life what I wanted. And part of why I was wasting so much money is I would come up with an idea and that designer didn't really know how to do it, how to make it. So they'd be like, well, I can take a crack at it. Okay, well, $400 later, no, I can't do it. But I still spent all this time trying, so you need to pay me. Anyway, long story short, already that it's a long story, the final designer really could have done my logo with like $100, which is a little bit depressing. Anyway, I learned this lesson in a big, big way. So let's open this guy up. Again, you're gonna want to take some time to take a deep breath and really think about your answers and dig deep. But I just want to fast forward down here to question 15. So again, especially if you have a personal brand, it's really easy to get tied up in trying to appease everybody, trying to get in their brain, figure out what they want, what they need. It can be really discouraging. And I've gone through this before where it's so paralyzing to me. Just the overwhelm is so paralyzing that I just stopped creating altogether. I went through a patch at the beginning of this year where I didn't even send out a newsletter for 6 months, I think. I stopped posting on social media. I just felt like it felt so muddled. Like, what could I possibly share that would make sense? Then a friend recommended that I read the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Thank you, friend. And there's a part in the book where I'm paraphrasing, but she essentially says, like, my goodness, don't try to save my soul with what you're creating. I want you to save your own soul, but with what you're creating. I want you to create because it fuels you, because it feels like what has to be done for your own body. And that resonated with me so much. It was like someone handed me a permission slip and said, okay, be yourself, because that's good enough. And everything just clicked into place. Now I mean, I have a content calendar I'm sharing relentlessly. If you follow my stuff, you know I never stop squawking. But what feels so great about it is it doesn't feel salesy because it's me. It's just so me and it's authentic, and people really respond to that. They don't feel like it's a marketing ploy. They feel like, okay, wait, this person is living this. This is their truth. I can get on board. So we have to answer these questions. You will have these questions right when I send you the questionnaire after this. Okay, let's talk actual design. Pinterest, not a new invention. We've had Pinterest around, but it's free and it's a world of inspiration. You will notice that my little button down here, it says curate. Pinterest is an amazing resource for simply collecting design elements. So before you design anything, you're going to curate 3 robust boards. And those boards are, I like this, which is anything and everything. It's just to get your juices flowing. Your next board is going to be fonts. And these fonts may be used for the text for your website, or they may be used for your logo. And then the third board is color schemes and colorful photos. So I just want to hop over to my Pinterest and show you how wackadoo my first, I like this, anything and everything, let me just throw everything in one board looked like. Because this was really, I needed to see all of this next to one another to see like what was really going to inspire me. So you will notice there's really nothing cohesive. These girls had a similar haircut to me. They have nothing to do with anything. I liked her flowers. I liked this picture. I liked green, I guess. I mean, really, there's nothing cohesive about it. But with this platform, I was able to then reference my 3 boards. So this crazy board, my font board, and my color board. And I could reference them and align them with the answers to my essential questions and say, okay, what's my message? What can I find out of these colors, out of these pictures, out of these textures? What can I find that aesthetically represents that? And that's really how I came to design what my website was going to look like. So then once we're there, once we've created these 3 lively boards, and really pin at least like 25 to 50 for each board, like go crazy, please. Once you've created these big boards, again, you reference with your answers and you pull out what actually aligns. And then we're going to go over to Canva and we're going to build a mood board. So I have Canva open here. So we're going to click on poster. Where is poster? Okay. Poster. We are going to click on elements. Again, this is written in the directions, so don't feel like you need to remember this. And then you're going to click grids, and we're going to find a grid that has 6 open spots, at least 6. I like this guy. I actually already primed this over here, so we're going to use this. So then from Pinterest, I drag and dropped pictures that I like that I found on my desktop, and then I uploaded them here. So you'll see alongside Canva, it says upload. You can upload your own images. So you'll notice like I have super logo from past projects. I just have stuff that I've uploaded from Canva creation. So then I'm going to pick the items from my Pinterest board that aligns with my message. So we got a green juice over here. We got this goddess over here. I really liked this sign. I can't even tell what it says right now. I liked this plant. You get the picture. So we're going to fill it up and we're going to create using the colors, the textures, the feeling that we want people to feel when they visit our website, when they look at our business card, when they read a flyer. You're going to fill up your mood board with these things. So down here, it's a little bit different of a format, yes, but this is basically my mood board that I use for my website. If you reference my website, you will see that I use these pinks. I have plants everywhere. Even for this webinar, you'll notice I have that pink, I have the lime green, I'm wearing a pink shirt. I use this as my guidebook for everything I create. My business card has this color pink on it, just to keep a little tie of cohesion. So people are like, okay, I get it. This is really clean. This looks great. Shout out to Nora, who's an amazing designer who helped me create this mini mood board color scheme for my current website. Just want to give her some credit there. Okay, so take a deep breath. I threw a lot at you and I talked really quickly. I hope you took some notes. Reminder that this is fun. And on the other side of this, I promise you, is immense empowerment and the ability to reach so many more clients and customers once you have a cohesive message. Let's recap. Here's our checklist. So before we move on to the simple programs, you have to do this foundational work. And this is the checklist for us. So have you completed the following? You got to take a good, honest look at that ecosystem. Sometimes it hurts. I'm not gonna fluff it about it. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but just be honest and know that any positive change that you make is going to positively influence your quality of life, but also your business. You're going to fill out the essential questions questionnaires, and you can fill this out for every single project you do. So I even filled it out just for this webinar to make sure I'm aligned with who I am, my overall message, and the content that I'm giving you, that it really feels like me and it feels authentic. 3, Pinterest your pants off. Once you have 3 robust boards, you choose the colors, the textures, the images, the fonts that feel aligned with the answers that you came up with your essential questions. And then lastly, you pull it all together in Canva, you create a mood board, you print it out, and that is your guidebook for all design moving forward, having to do with this project, this website, this business, whatever it may be. Okay, so as promised, let's talk free and affordable programs I use every day. We already talked about Pinterest, but Pinterest is so much more important than just curating photos for your mood board. It's really useful for articles and for design ideas. So for example, a couple weeks ago, I needed to make a flyer that was promoting a class, but featured 2 teachers and information about them. And I couldn't really conceptualize it. So I used Pinterest and I typed in just that, flyer featuring 2 teachers, and it pops up all of these past examples. And I can look at them as inspiration and kind of as a blueprint for how I can create mine. And then secondly, there are articles. So if you're like, how do I create a flyer for 2 teachers? It links, people have uploaded articles that will tell you the play-by-play on how to do so. So Pinterest is so much more than just a place to find pretty photos. It actually holds a ton of information, and it's very, very underutilized. Then Canva, same with Canva. Yes, we made a cool mood board with Canva, but Canva is much, much more than just a mood board tool. So let's go into Canva for a second. One of my favorite parts is that everything is sized out for you. So if you don't know how to properly size like a Facebook banner because you don't know how to have the perfect resolution, the perfect placement, or maybe a flyer, or maybe even an Instagram post, if you don't know how to size them in your design programs, Canva already does it for you. So let's pretend that we are making an Instagram post. I'm going to click on this guy. When I download this image right here, it's already going to be perfectly sized to Instagram, which is really, really helpful. 2, they have all of these free templates, and some are $1, but I mean, that's very cheap still. They have all of these free templates. So maybe I want to use this guy. I can use the free template and then just swap out this text to represent my own brand, maybe change the color to represent my own brand. I download it, super clean, looks professional, and it took me, what, 3 minutes? It's an incredibly helpful tool. Oh, I almost forgot my favorite part. The other part is stock photography. So stock photos are incredibly important if you don't have your own photos yet, and it's expensive to hire a photographer. One day you'll get there, but it's totally okay if you haven't gotten there yet, and what you will be relying on is stock photos. Unfortunately, they can cost from $10 to $200 per photo, and when you're trying to fill a website and make social media posts, like that can get really expensive quickly. Well, I found a workaround. Canva has so many images, and they will size themselves to the resolution you choose. So I look through here, and I try to find one that has a high size, a high resolution. So I like this presentation one. You see on the bottom, it shows the resolution. Ooh, this one's a big beefy guy. So I pick him, and I'm solely picking it based on the resolution capacity because I want a high resolution photo, right? Then I can search. So let's think of something super random. The other day for the juicery, I needed a photo of like little energy balls with coconut on them, and I couldn't find it even on an expensive stock site. Coconut balls. Horrible search term, but oh man, here we go. So I find this picture, I size it how I want it to be. I download it up here. I pick JPEG or PNG, and now I have a high resolution photo, and it's only going to cost me $1. I love it. I love it. Speaking of photos, Unsplash is an amazing free stock photography resource. It's, in my opinion, the best out there. and they're constantly adding new photos. And I really just love the style of the photos. They just feel really relevant and hip and clean. They have a lot on here, and I just noticed that they're always finding new photographers to add more content. But good photos can really make designing a website so easy. If you have a beautiful photo and just a little bit of text, people are enthralled. They're like, oh my gosh, your site's beautiful. And Unsplash is an amazing place to find these beautiful photos. Like, these are really gorgeous. Like, imagine pulling up your website and seeing these captivating photos right in the front. Like, right away, you're gonna be like, okay, clean, awesome website, real deal. Okay, Pixlr. So if you have a PC, you can edit images or graphics in Paint, but I have a Mac and I've never really liked any of the Mac versions of Paint. So that leaves me with two options. I can invest in like Photoshop or Illustrator, or I can try GIMP. GIMP is a free program, but it mimics how Photoshop and Illustrator work, and it's really confusing for me and I can never get the hang of it. So I don't like that option either. So I found Pixlr. I'm gonna click on that. And what I love about it is I don't even need to download anything to my computer. I can just use the editor online. So let's open him up. It's gonna prompt you to open a photo, the photo that you want to edit from your computer. I saved this fancy apple as an example for us. Okay, so maybe I want to make this apple blue. It's going to take me a little bit more time than what I'm just showing you now, but I just want to show you how easy this is. It's just like Paint in that you can just inject things with color. I can remove the white background. I can crop. I can, I mean, just anything that you'd want to do to manipulate a photo. And this Pixlr is free. It mimics Paint, so it's easy to use. And they also have some really great tutorials online if you get caught up. I use them often, actually. So awesome resource. And then the last one on this list is Creative Market. So click into him. Creative Market is a marketplace for all things design. So remember we were saying like your Pinterest board for your fonts. Maybe you find a font, but then you have to purchase it somewhere. You need to have it actually on your computer. So I always check Creative Market first. It's very affordable. If you buy a bundle, you get a bonus, but that's where you can purchase your font. But my favorite part of Creative Market is if you sign up for their newsletter, each week you get 6 free design elements. Whoop, sorry guys. You get 6 free design elements, and whether I see myself using them or not, I usually, anything that seems like it might apply, I download it and save it and keep it in a folder just in case a project arises and I want to use that element. So 6 free design elements just by signing up to Creative Market. So that was a lot. I hope you feel empowered by the end of this and understand that you can indeed do it. I hope you're feeling inspired and that you'll utilize this momentum to dive into Module 1 ASAP. We know how it goes where you take a webinar, you're inspired for like 2 days, but you don't capitalize on it, and then everything just goes to the wayside and it just seems too hairy scary to touch again. Don't do that. Use Module 1 ASAP and really capitalize on your inspiration and empowerment. So Module 1, as a reminder, is the foundational work for this 4-part course that I've created to teach everything I know. There's a lot more fun to be had. So you can follow along with the module descriptions here, but that's really boring if I just read them to you. So I'm gonna put it into real life. So you've collected images for your design concept. You've chosen colors. You've filled out your questionnaire. How the heck do you make sense of it? Module 2, we are going to make sense of all of this. So you can come out with a cohesive guidebook, your mood board. You can come out with a title or brand name if you're in need of that. And then you can attract your right clients or customers. Next, we take all that information and we get a simple website up. Remember, you just need attractive, clear, cohesive message and a way for people to contact you to really get started and attract your first clients. I got my first client within 2 days of putting up my website, and I'm just so lucky that I had it up because the person just right away decided, okay, this person's the real deal. They have a nice, clean, cohesive website. So we get your website up. We create your pages based on the color scheme and the message. It's clean and it's attractive so that people are like, okay, she's the real deal, check. But then you also want to attract clients that you actually want to work with, right? It's the worst to have a client or customer that is a humongous pain in the tush and not aligned with your message. It's like slogging through a swamp. You want to attract the right clients, and you do that through the copy on your website, through the text on your website. So then we create your lead magnet. Your lead magnet is like a thick magnet. That's how you attract the people you want to work with. And your lead magnet is the compelling story of how you came to be and why you're offering your services. And this is the opportunity for the person on your website, your potential client, your potential customer, to read the story and go, oh, wait, they are talking exactly to me. They get me. I see myself in them. I want them to hire me, right? Okay, so now they're interested. But what are you offering, right? What programs do you have? How much do they cost? How long do the programs last, right? Do you work with a client for 1 month, 1 session, 3 months? How do you make sense of all this? So we will help you create your services and the text to adequately convey those services so they're enticing and not intimidating. Okay, so now they want to work with you. How do they contact you? Do they call a phone number? Do they send an email outside of your website? Do they submit through your website? Do they apply? So you have an idea of who they are, what they need from you, so you can kind of vet them before. Do they sign up for a free 30-minute call first and you guys chat and then you decide whether you're going to work together? You have to figure out the process so they're not intimidated by the process. I'm not kidding to you. Like 2 extra clicks can turn off somebody. It has to be as simple and as functional as possible. Okay, so maybe they're not quite ready to dive into working with you, but they still want to keep tabs on you. They still want to know like what your future classes are. So how do you get their email address? Well, you create something called an opt-in. And your opt-in is a free gift that you give in exchange for somebody giving you their email address. So right now, my opt-in is 50 free something tips. That just made me sound so horrible. 50 free tips to like get back in your vortex, get back aligned, get back to happy. So people see that and they go, okay, I'll give you my email address in exchange for that. And that's how I collect email addresses for my newsletter. And my newsletter is where I keep in touch with people, with my blogs, with my life stories, with my advice, with my new class offerings, with my new workshops. Just keeping people engaged in your business, keeping that communication, that relationship alive, because that's really what gets people to be loyal members and to have them recommend you to the people in their community so you gain more attraction. Okay, so then we got to design the newsletter to be aligned with your branding. And I use a program called MailChimp. I recommend it. It's very easy to figure out once you get the hang of it. That didn't sound as easy as I wanted to. It's drag and drop, just like Squarespace. You can drag and drop things to design. So once you get the hang of it, you're going to be able to change up your newsletter whenever you want. But we're going to help you create a template. So you just pull it up and all you have to do is change the text when you send it out to the people in your newsletter list. But so say somebody wants your opt-in, they enter their email address. You don't want to have to go behind the scenes and be like, oh, these people signed up today. I need to physically email everything to them. You want it to be integrated into Squarespace, meaning we want to link your Squarespace and your MailChimp. So when somebody signs up, MailChimp automatically sends them their free gift. So we will get that set up for you. And then lastly, if you have a Mac computer, I use Keynote and Pages every single day to design. And if you're interested in learning how to use those, I'm going to include a tutorial on that as well, because I find it very, very helpful. Oh my goodness. And then that wasn't lastly, I was lying. This is lastly. I also have a free Facebook support group where you can ask questions, get opinions, post obstacles you're having behind the scenes, and you'll receive most likely immediate response from other people in the group, but also from me. I'll be very active in it all the time. I have a behind the scenes tech support group, and anytime I don't know how to do something, I can Google it and try to watch a YouTube video and figure it out, or I can just post in there and say, hey guys, I need some help. And right away, somebody is bound to have tried it before. And they're like, oh, you just do that. Simple. It is invaluable, I promise. And even more than that, if you are a solopreneur, an entrepreneur that works alone, it is so invaluable for your inspiration, your creativity, your I can do this attitude, to have a supportive group around you that's going through the same thing and who's there to love you and cheer you on. Okay, so I don't know why you joined this free training. Maybe you're just starting out and you want to define a clean, cohesive message. Maybe you want to attract Maybe you want an attractive website so the right people can work with you, and they'll go to your website and they'll be like, okay, she's the real deal. Maybe you want to be able to evolve your website without paying someone each time to do it for you. Remember, I've evolved my website in just the past 2 years at least 3 or 4 times. That could have cost me $2,000 to $4,000 each time, right? Maybe you want to save money by learning how to design your own flyers, cards, web graphics. More designers are fairly expensive, and that stuff adds up. Maybe you want to start saving money by learning how to create a foundation before you work with a designer. So remember my logo story? Had I put that foundation in place, I could be $1,800 richer right now. Or maybe you just want to feel empowered and have so much more control over your existing brand. And like I said, empowerment is like the magic sauce. You gotta feel like this is purposeful, or being an entrepreneur is just gonna feel like a slog every single day. So here are 2 of my clients that I love dearly. Alex, he is the owner of those juice cafes I was talking about. When I met Alex, he was having daily panic attacks. I kid you not, 17 phone calls a day to me in tears, wondering how he was going to keep alive his 8 cafes. Employees were not sticking around. There's kind of a nasty company culture. Everybody's undermining one another. Not a fun place to be. They had no defined mission, no cohesive branding. Random employees were doing the social media. It was a disaster. But worst of all, his own health and happiness was severely suffering. The kid was he was miserable. So we started from the beginning. We did the ecosystem. We got his personal life feeling good, strong, clean, happy, healthy. And then organically, that happiness and health within him was passed on into his company. We did the work to ask the essential questions about what's the mission of the juicery? What are we trying to do here? And then we tightened up all the design and the branding. Through this process, his social media has grown by 700% in the past 8 months. He also started a health and wellness blog. And so now he's just like he's wanted all along, but never put words to. He's so much more than a juice cafe. Now he has a voice out there helping people, and so much more than just providing juices. He's also been able to hire a controller, an HR person, 2 general managers, and he's been able to add perks like yoga classes and free food and smoothies for our employees, which has just really, really made the company culture bustling. It's like a completely new company. It's really beautiful. Also, he has been able to open 2 more locations, so no more freaking out about the 8. Now he can freak out about his 10. Sarah is one of my favorite clients ever because she didn't even have a computer when we started. I had to teach her how to turn on her new Mac. And now look at her. You can read the testimonial. I don't need to read it to you. She updates her own website by herself. She's a yoga teacher, so she constantly has to make flyers, add the flyers to the website, change her schedule, keep it updated, and she does it all by herself. She started her social media accounts. She had Instagram before, but she only had like 100 as followers. Just out of curiosity, I checked where she's at now, and she has over 1,000 new Instagram followers now that she has an idea of how to be cohesive in her branding. More than that, 2 months after Sarah put her sign up, she decided to hold a yoga retreat in Spain. And within 6 weeks, she got 12 people to fly to Spain to join her for a week of yoga, which is just insane. And then this coming weekend, already she's taking another yoga retreat to Costa Rica. Do you think anybody would travel internationally with a teacher if they went to that teacher's website and it was a sloppy website? No, you'd feel anxious and you'd be like, I am not trusting this woman to take care of me in another country. Sarah has become fresh out of yoga school teacher to an international full-time yoga teacher in less than a year because she's taken ownership of this design and really become intimate with her branding. I mentioned that there was a yummy bonus if you hung around. I hope I mentioned that at the end of this call. Your success is my success. I understand if you're a bit apprehensive about diving into designing all of this. I get it. But if you do, I promise I will not let you fail. You don't have to worry about my part in this equation. I am here for you. If you stay with this momentum that we've created, this inspiration, and sign up before this Friday, 11/11, I like that number, at midnight, I will do a complete website dissection for you when you're done. So when you're finished all your modules, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to go through every page, every word. We're going to tighten up the copy meaning your text on your site. We're going to make sure that it's really powerful and cohesive. I'm going to give you some suggestions on maybe if you need to move some things around on the site to just make it more functional, more aesthetic. I'm going to check all the functionality of everything, make sure it's connected properly, that everything's going in the right place. I am going to make sure that you knock it out of the stinking park with this website, with your branding. I design websites for from $2,000 to $7,000 for new entrepreneurs, but design is not my passion at all. I love doing it because I love the end result of people being like, okay, I'm ready to get out there. That's the part I love, but the design part, that's not my thing. I don't want to be designing websites for people forever. So that is why I created this. I want you to feel balanced and fulfilled and happy, and I want you to share your message, because then we're going to have a world full of balanced, happy, fulfilled people, and it starts with us. And then before we know it, we've created a revolution, and then we got a beautiful world. So for all of these 4 modules and the website dissection, it comes to one payment of $495. I'm going to stick these 2 links in our chat box. Let me bring that up right here. Where are you? All right. Well, okay. Stop share. Okay. Okay. That is not what I wanted to send. One more second. You can't see my screen, so that's awesome. Okay. I wanted to send you guys these 2 links. The first is one-time payment of $495, which is absolutely insane for all the work that I've done and I'm going to do. But you guys are my baby's first round, and I just want to knock it out of the stinking park, and I want your testimonials. I want your beautiful work to speak for itself. So next round, I can charge a lot more money. But I am so invested in your success because I love you, but also because it's my success. So that's the first payment option. And then if that doesn't really resonate with you right now and it's not available to you, I also have an installment option, and I've used so many installment options throughout the years. And I really, if even this doesn't work for you, email me and we can break it down even smaller. I am just here at your service. So to reiterate, your success and my success. Our success begets even more success. Soon we're going to have a revolution of happy, healthy leaders in this world. Collaboration is key. Lean on your friends, lean on your idols. Thank you so much for attending today. I noticed you guys don't have any questions. If you think of them later, please email me at tory@torydube.com. At the end of this call, I will send you the replay as well as the link to Module 1. Have a beautiful afternoon, and I will speak to you soon.